CNN's Nichelle Turner joins us with much more. It started with a magazine article, and it's turned into something different.
Ballooned into something else. Another day, another celebrity in trouble. That's what it seems like. In this GQ article that we're talking about, Phil Robertson appeared to be an equal opportunity offender. You know, it's the height of duck hunting season in Louisiana, but right now he won't be on camera to show off his shot. The show's network, A&E, pulled him from future shoots indefinitely, saying they were, quote, extremely disappointed to have read Phil Robertson's comments in GQ. The patriarch of the hit reality TV show Duck Dynasty sounded off.
My idea of happiness is killing things.
But he turned the target on himself. On Wednesday, A&E suspended Phil Robertson, founder of the Duck Commander Company and head of his backwoods Louisiana family, from filming indefinitely for the controversial anti-gay statements he made in an interview with GQ magazine. In the article, Robertson says, quote, "It's not logical, my man. It's just not logical." He goes on to explain what he finds sinful, saying, "Start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and those men," he says. Robertson then refers to a Bible passage from Corinthians, saying, "Don't be deceived. Neither the adulterers or the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, they won't inherit the kingdom of God. Don't deceive yourself. It's not right." His words angering gay rights activists.
I was shocked and appalled, really, that somebody who's on A&E's highest rated show would say something along the lines of comparing homosexuality to bestiality, among other things.
Robertson and his family are known for preaching their Christian beliefs.
We still managed to stay true to ourselves.
Amen.
Telling GQ they're, quote, Bible thumpers who just happen to end up on television. But gay rights advocates say along with the limelight comes responsibility.
You have the freedom of speech, absolutely, but we have the freedom to turn off all of our televisions when you say something that offends us and the people that we love.
Robertson released this statement after the article was released, saying, "I would never treat anyone with disrespect just because they are different from me. We are all created by the Almighty, and like Him, I love all of humanity. We would all be better off if we loved God and loved each other." And not only did he make anti-gay comments, he also said in the article that while growing up in the Jim Crow South, he, quote, never saw black people mistreated, and that he worked cotton fields with blacks and said, quote, "They're singing and happy. I never heard one of them, one black person say, I tell you what, those doggone white people, not a word. They were they happy? They were godly. They were happy. No one was singing the blues." There's a lot to react to here with this article, definitely.
So what do you got?
Well, first of all, I would say the anti-gay comments are way out of bounds, even though there are a lot of people who are arguing, and I saw it on Twitter last night, a lot of people reacting that it's his freedom of speech, he can believe what he wants to believe, which is true, but that doesn't mean it's free from consequences.
Right.
When you say these things when you're a public figure.
And you'll also hear that he is not alone. I'm not supporting the comments, but he is not alone in those views. There is a segment of the population who agrees with exactly what Phil is saying.
Yeah, there is a segment of that population, and then also to speak to the comments about, you know, the pre-civil rights era. I'm not trying to speak to what's in his head, but when you see these comments, this is exactly the type of warped logic that white racists used back in the day to justify their actions for oppression of black people. Well, they're singing, they're happy. Right. I'm not hearing anybody complain. Those black folks are happy folks. They're not saying anything. So those are troubling. All of this, I believe, is troubling.
Interesting how quickly A&E moved.
Yeah, well, we saw with Paula Deen how things went with her and the time it took for that to sort of right itself, if it has. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
And they have a $400 million empire. Let's remember that.
Huge
here.
Empire.
Big deal with Walmart. So what's going to happen with that are they going to back off from them? So there's a lot in play here still.
Yep. Yeah. On the basis of what we know, the statements that are out there, Paula Deen pales in comparison to this.
Exactly right.
Also, you got to ask yourself, you know, you love family, love each other, that's the goal. Do these comments square with that?
Right.
Or
The
argue that they
magazine
do?
writer, actually, the GQ writer did a really good job of pointing out those inconsistencies, if we should put it that way, in the piece about what he was saying, what he's preaching, and reality.
And I grew up in what's being called a Christian household, and I never heard these type of beliefs
Neither
in
did
what
I.
my Christian household was.
Exactly.
Great point, Nichelle.